Hello and welcome back. Once again, it is time for the Golden Age of DC Comics 365 Days, where I take this beloved hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This has been surfing my coffee table ever since, providing me with ample opportunities to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. That's right. It's a 365 days book. We're using it for its intended purpose. We're going to open to today's date, August the 26th. We're going to look at some art from a comic book from an antediluvian age. We're going to read the blurb, and then we're going to talk about comic books. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Let's get to it. I usually actually open the show with something called the Escapism Caveat. You can find it in the corner at the end of the show. Yeah, decided it needed its own space and place. And you'll get that reference if you take a peek at it. Yeah, I'm using this book for its intended purpose, and we're going to read a page today and look at some art today. You can tell I'm not quite thrilled with today's selection, but just let's remind ourselves that the Golden Age of DC Comics runs between 1938 and 1955. The Silver Age between 1956 and 1970. The Bronze Age, I'm a Bronze Age baby myself, between 1970 and 1985. And the Copper Age begins about 1985. I get this information, I gleaned these standards from the glossary of the mighty Overstreet Price Guide. This is this year's current editions, and I think it's a great place to start with some good standards. You know what I mean? And so you can talk to me about the ages of comic books. I love having these conversations. I love talking about comic books. And if you love talking about comic books, you're in the right place at the right time. So let's get to it. Let's just get this page over with. I mean, it's, you know, some days they're kind of misses. There's some days they're absolute hits. I mean, we have the whole spectrum here. Look, Spaceman! Dun dun dun! I'm really into history, and especially the history of the space race. So we're leaving the Golden Age, and we're entering the space race, which is a big part of the Silver Age. This is from the cover of Strange Adventures #1, August-September of 1950. Let's talk a bit more about this science fiction magazine being offered by DC Comics at the time. The cover of DC's first science fiction comic book was timed to coincide with the release of the motion picture Destination Moon 1950, a sober attempt to predict the methodology of the first lunar expedition. Producer George Pat's other hits included more fanciful The War of the Worlds 1953 and The Time Machine 1960. This may look like a comic book collage of photography and art, but those landscapes were the actual backgrounds of the film, painted by Chesley Bonestell. Yes, there you go. Not Fugazi. Not Fumetti. Fugazi, you know. That's a Scorsese reference. Yeah, Strange Adventures. It was a late Golden Age science fiction magazine, and it introduced a cadre of sci-fi heroes, I guess. And it was Captain Comet. Captain Comet's an odd character. They've brought him back so many times in my recollection, being a comic books fan all my life. Let's see. Chris KL99, Darwin Jones, Captain Comet. And those were just in the first less than 100 issues. I mean, the Atomic Knights didn't show up until 1960, and that's Silver Age, not the Golden Age of DC Comics. Strange Adventures ran for 244 issues and was DC Comics' first science fiction title. The series was home to one of the last superheroes of the pre-Silver Age comic books era, Captain Comet. There you go. There was a gorilla craze in the early 1950s as well. And in the strange adventure that... Oh, never mind. That was 1962. And real-life comic creators, editors Julie Schwartz and artist Sid Green struggled to make writer Gardner Fox recall a story that he holds the key to saving the Earth from an alien invasion, and the rare acknowledgement of the rest of DC Universe. In Strange Adventures, one panel mentions Gardner Fox previously met the Flash in the iconic Silver Age story, A Flash of Two Worlds. This brings up multiverse, and our Earth is something that's called Earth Prime. Our Earth exists in the DC multiverse as we observe all that's going on from our vantage point and our vibration in the multiverse. That all of these heroes, their vibrations, they're all comic books to us. And that they're just echoes of what's really going on other Earths all around us, a vibration away in a different multiverse. It's true, yeah, so we are Earth Prime. And this basically kind of creates Earth Prime. Yeah, Strange Adventures. And it has a good publishing history. There was a Vertigo one-shot. There was this and that. And then most recently, a 2020 DC Black Label. Black Label is what replaced Vertigo Comics as an imprint for mature comics. And it was written by Tom King, who I mean, I want to keep I want to keep my content positive, so I'm not going to talk about Tom King. And that's that. But yeah, so there was a Strange Adventures 2020 DC Black Label series that was 12 issues that was collected into a trade paperback, of course, and nominated for a Hugo Award. And it contained the science fiction hero Adam Strange. And yeah, it's there for you to read or to ignore. And yeah, I mean, geez, I don't have much to say about Strange Adventures. I thought I had it confused with Adam Strange because of the name Strange. Adam Strange is actually, he debuted in 1960 in Showcase, yet his magazine was Mystery in Space, if my memory serves me correctly. That was his title, and Adam Strange was this Buck Rogers type of superhero, a space ranger, but definitely of the Silver Age. And his caveat was that he was zapped by the Zeta beam, the Z-E-T-A, Zeta beam, and that he does not know when or when he's going to appear, but because of being zapped by the Zeta beam, he's either on Earth as this like just usual kind of dude, you know what I mean, working and having life, and then he gets transported away. You know, mitigating space and time, hundreds and millions of light years or something like that, to the planet Ron, where he is a John Carter, warlord of Mars type of hero, where his ingenuity and his human guile go a very long way solving some of the Randians' problems. And he meets the prettiest girl in the world, whose father is the scientist. He learns their language, and he's happier on Ron with his beautiful, you know, drop-dead gorgeous wife, their infant daughter, and his real life. And then when he comes to Earth, it's like, yeah, spaceman, keep talking, kind of thing. Like, yeah, you're a spaceman, all right. Nobody. I think the caveat might have been they don't believe him, and you know, like, yeah, you're gonna wake up tomorrow, on the bread line like you did today, kid. You know, and so. So yeah, that's Strange Adventures. We've been talking about comic books, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, and we'll find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about comic books every day. We really do. Talk about gratitude and purpose, spirituality. I talk about cooking. I'm a professional chef. I am also called the Sultan of Soup. This is true. I point out planets in the pre-dawn sky if the sky is clear. I do. Like, look, that's the planet Mars. I do that as much as I can. I think that's cool, and I want to share that with you. So tune in. Cheers. Namaste. Good luck. And we will see you tomorrow on those funny pages. Cheers. Bye-bye.